Hello everyone. It's Steven, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've spent many years hiding and several slowly opening up, but now I'm officially and publicly coming out. Yeah, I guess this is my coming out story. I'm officially coming out as gay. Kind of. Technically, I'm bisexual because I have attractions towards women, but I've been hiding the fact that I am attracted towards men, and I've been hiding that for a really long time. And I want to make this video for my own good. Like, I want to share my story and just express all the pain that I've been through. And also, I just want everyone to understand exactly how I came to this place where finally, at age 25, I'm able to say it publicly because I feel my story is going to help people better understand what it's like for someone who is gay, lesbian, bisexual, or anything in between to come to terms with their sexuality. When I was a kid, I definitely dreamed about girls. Maybe there was an underlying sense that there was an attraction towards boys, but to be completely honest, I don't even remember thinking about that. I just remember having crushes on girls, and that's all I really knew. Then when I was around 10 or 11, I started having attractions towards boys, and these feelings started to grow as I became a preteen and a teenager. Around that age of 10 or 11, some other things started to change in my life as well. I started getting more serious about my dancing, so I became less involved at school, and that led me to become less social and more isolated. Also, I was the only boy in my area who wanted to become a professional dancer, so I really had no one who could relate to me. That was when this sense of me being different came into play. I was the only one of me that I knew, and so that was a part of why I hid how I was feeling. Another part, though, was of the culture I grew up in. I did grow up in a Christian environment, and I went to a Christian private school, and for me, that was a great thing in a lot of ways. I had an amazing education, and I had great guidance and so many people who loved me and some great people with such good hearts. But just because there's a lot of good things about something doesn't mean that everything's good. And I think one of the big things that was bad was the fact that I couldn't open up about my sexuality. I didn't feel comfortable or safe enough to express my sexuality and the struggles I had with it, but it wasn't just from the culture, it was also hard to accept it for myself, and that was a hurdle I had to get past. But both of those things do fall under one category. In Christianity, there are two beliefs on homosexuality. The first belief being affirming. And these Christians believe that it's right and okay to have a monogamous relationship with someone of the same sex. And there are also non affirming Christians who believe that it is not right and not okay to have a relationship with someone of the same sex. And the belief I grew up under and the belief that I had personally was that of a non affirming Christian. At first, I felt it was wrong to even have the feelings, but then I came to a place where I believed that it wasn't sinful to have the feelings, but it would be if I were to pursue them and go have a relationship with someone of the same sex. Um, but honestly, that belief put a really huge burden on me. It put this weight on me, and it started sucking the life out of me, to be completely honest. I actually didn't fully feel comfortable in the environment I grew up in to open up about this because, one, I felt I would have been judged, and two, I would have been looked at differently. People would see me as maybe weird or gross, and that was something I couldn't really deal with. And three, I would have been more isolated than I already was. There was a possibility I could have been rejected, and I couldn't risk it. And because of that, I just wasn't going to open up about this. I also didn't feel comfortable with myself to open up about it to myself. So both of those just was a lot for me to carry. And on top of all of that, I have severe OCD. And I've opened up about that publicly, about my struggles with obsessive compulsive disorder. But with my brain and my anxiety being so hyperactive, it just made all of this intensify by like a million. And I did everything I possibly could to shove these feelings away, to deny them, to try to be straight and try to force myself to be straight and not to have these feelings, try to purposely not think about boys. And eventually I just couldn't take it. I could not deny it anymore, and it was just too much for me to carry, and I desperately needed help. And so the first time I finally felt ready to open up to someone was about halfway through my senior year of high school, and I told my mom. And I don't remember the exact day, but I just remember how big of a deal it was to actually have to admit it to myself and to say it out loud. And that was tough for me, but luckily my mom was so loving and supportive and didn't treat me any differently or see me any differently. And it just, at the end of the day, made her happy that I was finally able to release this to someone and maybe just be in a little bit less pain than I was in. Like, that made her happy. And that was an amazing thing. And so after that, I slowly started opening up to a few others, and I've gone to therapy and had to do a lot of reflecting and thinking about what I believe and what my worldview is, and it's led me to a place where I am now more on the affirming side. I'm at a place where I do believe it's okay to have a relationship with someone of the same sex, but for the sake of this video, I don't want to go into that conversation fully, because honestly, I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion or debate what's right or wrong, because it's just an important part of my story that I bring this up. But if you are interested in understanding what I've gone through and hearing from other people who have gone through the same thing, or just to get a different perspective, I've linked some stuff to this video, books, blogs, videos that just will give you another perspective if you're interested. But the reason why I'm bringing this up in this video, and I need to bring it up, is because the beliefs that I had growing up about my homosexuality being wrong and trying to shove it all away. Like I said, it was sucking the life out of me and causing me so much pain and so much anxiety, and it was really holding me back as a person, to be honest. It was holding me back socially because I didn't want anyone to find out that I wasn't straight, so I literally watched every little thing that I said and every little thought that I had and every little look that I gave with my eyes, just everything. Like, I was trying to close myself off so much so that no one would find out, because I just couldn't handle it if it got out. And so it was really holding me back socially, and I was already so alone, so that just made it really, really tough. And it was also holding me back just physically because it made my OCD get 10 times worse because this shame added to the already burdensome intrusive thoughts and obsessions that I already had. And I just want to share this because it's something burdening me, and it honestly might be something burdening others. And I definitely know that this view of being non affirming has led people to this place where they do have to hide and they do have to carry this by themselves because they are afraid and they are ashamed. And I don't want to argue what's right or wrong or exactly what the Bible says, but I am saying that the one thing that we can all agree on, whether you believe it's right or wrong, or even if you're religious or not, anything, is that we have to be accepting enough and loving enough and non judgmental enough to allow people to feel comfortable to open up about a burden like this, honestly, regardless of what it is. And the reason why I had such a burden on me is because I had to hide it. I was ashamed and afraid to talk to anyone. When at the end of the day, if I would have talked to someone and I would have opened up about this, I wouldn't have had to struggle with it. I would have had to struggle with it this much, I should say. And if you're out there and you're hiding something, regardless of what it is, but especially if you're having trouble coming to terms with your sexuality, I just want to encourage you to know that it's okay to open up. And there are people out there who will love you and accept you and not see you differently or look at you as if you were gross or disgusting. And I just want to inspire you to find that because it's out there for you. I also want to share this with other people who haven't had to go through 15 years of an experience of trying to hide and struggle with your sexuality or your sexual orientation. I just want those people to understand how much of a toll it takes on a human to have to suppress your sexuality and to have to suppress talking about it, understanding it, exploring it. I just want people to be aware that there needs to be an environment where you shouldn't have to be afraid or you shouldn't have to wait until you soul search for many years to get to a place where you finally feel that you can say it publicly and not be afraid. And I think that's something we can all agree on. And we can all agree on that holding all of this inside of us, especially for people who are LGBT, it's killing us. And that's why so many people are killing themselves. And luckily, I haven't killed myself because given what I've been gone through, had I not been guided and loved so well by people, I might not be here today to make this video. And so I am really thankful for the people who do love me and don't see me differently and see me for who I am and not see me as someone who's not straight and weird. It has literally saved my life. And whatever you believe, I just want you to know that the reason why I've had to suffer this much is because I wasn't able to open up. And I wasn't able to talk about it. It all had to fester inside of me. And so I just want all of us to come together and help end this suffering for people like me who are going through this. And there are so many amazing people that I know on both sides of the argument, and I just know that those people don't want people to suffer, and I just want everyone to be aware that I am suffering and we are suffering because of these beliefs and because we're not able to open up. And so I just wanted to make this video and share all of that because it's a huge weight lifted off of me. And so if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to just hear me out. It really means more than you know, that you care enough to hear me out and help me release this thing that I've been holding on for as long as I can remember. So, thank you. All my love to you, and all my love to every single person on this earth.